So
Right on.
welcome, everybody.
Thanks.
For having us.
Let's start with this tour. This isn't the first time you guys have toured together. I think maybe I'm wrong, but first one was 2018.
Yeah, I
The
think so.
boys, both the boys joined me on my solo tour, but this is the first time that the three of us are touring as a unit. And so that's it's new for us.
Okay. So when you started out, where was the first place you played?
Me?
Yes.
The first place I played professionally would have been in on the Bay in Picton. So I would have been in university, and the guy hired me for, I don't know, $25. And I would come there, and it was a very bizarre gig because I walked in with my guitar, and there was just a big pub. I said, well, where do I play? And he just pointed to the fireplace. He said, over there. And there was nothing there. There was no stage. There was no lights. There was no microphone. He just wanted me to go over and move the people out of the way and just start playing.
So in terms
that's
of
about
that,
as rudimentary as it gets.
but I'm wondering, because now with Devin and Sam, because of your dad, where's the first place you guys played?
Well, I went to school for music, so I would have done it at York, but really it started at the Cameron House in Toronto, which is a small bar
Okay.
down on Queen Street. And it was a good musical community that kind of grew up around the time that I was hanging out there, new sort of ownership. And it is actually a club that has been around since the early days of Blue Rodeo as well. So it's been a stomping ground, intergenerational stomping ground, I think, in Toronto.
Sam?
Was that your first professional gig, Devin? Wasn't it at
No.
the Dakota?
Yeah, your first year was at the Dakota out there.
Well,
If we can correct your bio.
I played, well, you know how that is. I played at York. We played different little gigs around.
For money?
Yeah, not a lot.
Oh,
That's
goes
what
without saying.
Sam, where was the first place you did?
My first gig was at the Cameron House. We played 8 p.m. slot, I think, in a while ago now. But yeah, that was where our first show was. And still most of our shows have been at the Cameron. Although, since Devin's first show at the Dakota, he's played a lot more at the Cameron.
So obviously you're all musical, and in terms of kind of getting together in 2018, that was kind of helping. Now it's sort of sharing the limelight. How is it different now than, say, when you guys first started out running around together with your dad?
That'll be interesting because we'll have to see. Sorry, there's some construction happening across the street.
This is very Canadian. It's all good.
I think they're putting in AC or something. But I guess we'll have to see because we've never done a tour all together. Although we've done a lot of shows and charity work for this company, Canada's Great Kitchen Party, where we do kind of shows where we split it up, all play our songs. So I think because of that, we're a little more prepared for this. But I think it'll be unique to see when it's just the three of us doing full shows together, how that will ebb and flow. But makes it exciting for the first few.
Because I wanted to ask, I kind of joked before we started the interview that why aren't you guys living in your dad's basement? So are you sharing a hotel room?
Oh God, no. No, this will be like, I mean, we'll be staying, there's small rooms. We'll be staying in small hotels or motels. And you know, I'll try to keep expenses low, but Sam and I did a little trial run of this. We did 4 or 5 shows in Manitoba in
January.
In January, right. So, and they were small places even I had never been to. And so we just had to do the show ourselves. And it was, I mean, we have, like that Sam said, we've done a lot of this fundraising work together. So we've played, you know, and a lot of times, and we know each other's songs. And I'm always, as the last thing I'll say about it, sorry, is that I always want them to present their own songs that they've written in these things. And I think that this is a perfect way to do it. It's more of a songwriter's showcase than it is, let's get everybody up and bumping. So that's the purpose for me of this tour.
How are you feeling about it, Devin?
I'm excited. Yeah, I we'll rehearse and then it'll go great.
Why is everybody laughing when you say that?
Unclear.
No, I just think we
Theresa,
have to create.
didn't you notice some trepidation in his answer?
No, we'll survive.
And,
No, I just think we're gonna. A lot of what we've done is throw and go, and now we're gonna kind of build a show as the three of us, and that part will be new, I think. And so that's something I'm more excited than you know. than
and I
anything
wonder
about it.
too if you're going to see an organic change to things, like the feeling of that first show is going to feel totally different than you know, that 15th show or that last show. So how are you guys going to kind of manage that whole relationship thing with the whole music thing and the traveling thing and being out of your element thing, and still be a cohesive unit when you get to the end? Because I can't imagine traveling with two of my kids and actually having them work with me every single day for a long period of time. But it'll
Well,
be
we have actually done it a bunch. We oddly, because of this charity work we do, we spend a lot of time together. Usually in the spring we travel and we can spend upwards of, I think this year we spent 6 weeks every day together over a 3-month span. So we
so
really
you got the kinks
ran
out
it all
already.
in. Yeah. So we're used to traveling. Our mother comes with us too. So we're
that's
getting more used to being that unit. So I think that helps prepare us now to bring it to an even more professional sense. At least we're prepared for the social sense of it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, if this is all new and everybody's kind of got these kind of new roles within that. I want to ask you, Jim, how is it standing on stage with your kids? I can't even
Oh,
imagine the pride.
I find it fantastic. I mean, I think that I'm genuinely enjoy and genuinely interested in their music. I like their songs. I like their presentation. So I would listen just as a fan, and I go see their shows, and I really enjoy it. But then on, being their father and being proud of them, I just, fills me up. I love it. And it's easy for me to join in. It's easy for me to harmonize with them. It's easy for me to play. And this is the only time with the three of us that I get to play solos on guitar, because nobody ever, points to me and says, "Take one, Jim," when we're in the other configuration. So I'm, Sam won't solo, so I'm the only guitar soloist. So I like that too. But I find it really enjoyable and really enriching to go out with them and watch their progress and see how they handle everything. But like Sam said, we've done a lot of this. We've done a lot of, I've done a lot of watching them in settings where people all over them, asking them things, bugging them, and they're always very professional, and I admire what they've learned.
So I was going to ask, where did they learn that from? Because I would suspect that they would have been, well, you started, the boys aren't that old, and you started, well, I remember you starting, so I won't tell you how old I am, but in terms of them being able to watch you, so maybe I'll ask Devin and Sam, whoever can go first. What did your father's kind of whole foray into the music industry in Canada teach you that prepared you for this kind of stuff?
Everything, really. I mean, that's our knowledge base on it, is seeing not only people of his level, but all these others that were able to be musicians as a living, and how to kind of navigate that world of, being a musician, having a family, doing whatever your life is, and mixing it all together. So, I mean, I think that becomes inspiring to know that there's many paths to being a career musician.
And how to deal with the public, and
exactly, yeah,
present yourself.
how to be generally kind, I guess, really.
Yeah, be Canadian.
Exactly.
Canadian of you. Yes, there you go. I went through and did some stuff digging yesterday and today, and have some things I'm going to ask each of you, but I have to say there was a couple of things that I found which was really interesting. I think it was like a 2011 interview, I believe. I think it was 2011 with Toronto Life, and they gave you the Jim Cuddy song. Sorry, it was like the top 10. There it is. It's the top 10 things. This was in 2011 that you can't, that Canadian rock icon Jim Cuddy can't live without. So I wanted to see how some of those have changed. Do you even remember that interview, Jim?
Sort of.
One of the things it asked is your top 10. The number one was skates.
Number
Golden
one.
skates that you had. Yeah, it was number one.
Wow.
I don't even know how to pronounce this guitar, but it's a 1948 Gretsch.
Gretsch, okay.
Yeah, it was on permanent loan from Colin Cripps.
Yeah.
That was your number
Still-
two.
It's still up in my bedroom.
He probably
Yeah.
doesn't even remember it now. You had a Talisman, was number 3 from China from the 2008 Olympics that you bought from Tibetans near the Great Wall. You're wearing it. That's cool. Your wedding ring, never takes it off. There you go. My DOP kit, which is a smoked deerskin bag from Stein Valley, BC, or Stein Valley, BC, played
Stein Valley, yeah.
benefit. Yeah.
Yep.
And you said to keep your shaving things in it. My go-to poetry books, Leonard Cohen, Alden Nolan, Al Purdy. Number 7 was the Neighborhood Hangout, the Detroit Eatery in Danforth. Is it still open?
Gone. Fire took it about 4 years ago.
Oh.
5 years ago. Yep.
Your boom box, a cassette one. Busted on one side, great for recording demos because of the sound, the dirty sound that you get from it. Do you still have it?
I still have it, but it's not. It's barely functional now.
Oh,
But I still have it. I still
cassettes
have
were
all
my
those tapes,
jam.
those cassettes.
Yeah,
that-
I know. My gig boots made by a shoemaker in your neighborhood, Nasser V's or Vi's?
These.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
I still wear those.
a pair I bought 15 years before were replicated. And you called that a guilty pleasure. The only thing that you've ever done that's really kind of star-ish where you had shoes made just for you. And your wine collection was number 10.
Number 10.
All those things are still the case, although I've indulged myself more since 2011. So
Right.
yeah.
What kind of dad is he, Devin?
Supportive, obviously, as you can see in this setting, and very encouraging of our music, and probably would have been no matter what path we decided. But I think he's happy that we decided on this path.
I'm sure he is. Sam?
Oh, the same. I mean, honestly, encouraging and supportive is truly the best part. I have a lot of friends and people I know, especially in the music industry, meet a lot of people whose parents are not okay with what they're doing, and that they would have more clear paths. And just like both our parents were very, do what you want, like find what you want to do and enjoy doing it. That's what both of them do. And so we were lucky to be surrounded by that to allow us to choose what we want.
That's
Our
right.
sister got 50 things in her life, so she really grabbed hold of that.
And Jim, what kind of boys are they? What kind of sons are they?
Well, they're in many ways they chose their paths individually and without any advice from their parents. Both their parents are artists, so obviously the way was at least presented to them, but they did it all on their own. And I've always, sometimes they muck around, and their mother talked to me and says, they're doing it. I said, they never have let us down. You look at the way they act, look at the way I think they both realize that when you get on a stage, you have a responsibility to perform properly and as well as you can. And there's lots of people for whom that's falls by the wayside if there's a lot of drinking or smoking dope or whatever. And so I admire the professionals that they have become. I admire that they take their job seriously. And obviously we're in the entertainment business. So there's a lot of joy that goes around it. And I don't want to forfeit that or shortchange that either. I think they provide a lot of joy, but they do it in a very professional manner. So I have admired the way that they carry themselves. And we've been in a lot of situations when we go on these trips, these charity trips, we're very well treated, but there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of, we're moving around a lot, and we get tired, and we do this biking, and so the normal tensions arise, but they always deal with it properly. And so I admire their maturity at relatively young age, and in a business that doesn't necessarily spawn maturity.
No, not always.
No.
But it might now I'm going to poke a little fun at you, Jim. How old are you?
How old am I?
Yes.
There's no poking fun there. I'm 67. I turned 68 this year.
Can he still program his television, Devin?
That's Sam's territory.
Actually,
I'd be on the
I
same plane as him.
I forgot
yeah.
to fix the TV at the farm. That's too zoomed in. We were watching the baseball game downstairs. You couldn't see the outs. It's too zoomed in.
Yeah, but you were supposed to change it and you didn't.
I forgot.
So here's my question.
It's not going to be easy. When you go to try to do it, you're going to find there's something wrong with the mechanism. You won't be able to do it.
So
You
here's my
stirred something
question.
up, Theresa.
How much is this dad taking along the boys, or how much of this is the boys making sure dad can get from A to B, knows
Oh,
the
God.
GPS, that kind of stuff? That's my question.
Terrible. Terrible.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I teased them about living in your basement. I had to tease you about possibly not being able to program your television, but
It was a good one, though. You picked the right one.
in terms of going to these little places and the intimacy it provides and getting to know the people that are in love with your music, what is that going to feel like for you?
Gentlemen.
It's great. It's always a great feeling, honestly, when people like your music. I mean, that's part of the goal. I mean, the one that allows you to do it professionally. And it's always a good feeling when people are inspired or have a nice story about it. And I think that's another really positive thing about being a musician is you get to hear how it affects people's lives, even when you're a small starting out artist like us. It still makes a difference to certain people. There are always people that are as big a fan of you as many are of superstars, so it's nice.
But you're going to be up in what I'm talking about is the small venues. Like
Oh,
there
well,
are times that some people are going to be close enough that if they just reached a little further, they could touch your leg, kind of thing.
That's no bother for us. We play at bars. People do touch your leg because they are. So we're a little more used to it. If anything, I think that the more surprising part for us is that everyone's sitting there listening quietly. So you're a little more on because people can actually hear when you're speaking. That becomes a practice for us.
But because I would think though, well, maybe it's only for your dad, but for Jim you played some huge places, and now you're going to be playing some smaller places that, you get to see somebody's face, up close and personal as they're listening to you, and whether or not, that feels different, or if that's something you really find, filling to do these smaller venues.
I think that one of the great things about the venues we're going to be doing and this whole tour is that it will be an appreciation of the songs we've written. And, songs have a long life, and we treat them sometimes casually and sometimes preciously, but you don't always get the opportunity to present your songs. You get a lot of opportunity to entertain people, and that's great, but to present your songs and have people listen and to have people respond to whatever is being talked about in the songs, maybe to have a little talk before the songs, I think that can be really rewarding. So I think that that's what these places will provide us with the opportunity to do.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to do this and see how well your sons know you. We'll do some multiple choice. So your dad's song was used in the 2002 documentary Ski Bums. Which song was it? A, Disappointment, B, Whistler, or C, Trouble?
Whistler?
Whistler.
Yeah, it's Whistler because it's ski. I thought maybe.
Ooh,
so
what
year did your dad appear on the CBC radio program Canada Reads? Was it 1998, 2002, or 2004?
2004.
4. 2.
Which is it, Jim? Do you know?
Well, it was twice. So
The first time, I think.
The first time I think probably would have been 98.
98.
Really?
Oh, really?
No, 2002. I don't know. But it was twice. 2002, because then they had
That's
the champions.
That's
champions
the year you
back.
won. So it was after, I think, that because you
Oh my
you
God,
won
that was
that
that long
year.
ago?
Yeah, and then after that, and then I lost to John K. Sampson. I'm still mad about it.
Okay.
2002.
What year did your dad win his first Juno Award? 1988, 1989, or 1991?
88.
89 from Barney.
Jim, you're giving things away. Bonus, what category?
I was 1 years old.
What category?
What
Dude.
category?
Group of the year.
I don't know, new emerging artist. Oh, a best album of the year, emerging artist of the year.
Even more important, songwriter of the year.
Songwriter of the year.
That's what it said on your Wikipedia page.
I don't think that.
Look into that.
Okay.
You don't think
I don't
that's right?
I don't
Oh my
think that's
goodness.
right. No.
Well,
No, I don't.
Wikipedia.
I think
has
with that was the year we did a lot. We won a lot. We won single of the year. We won video of the year. We won. I don't know whether we won album of the year, but we won 4 Junos that year, something like that.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Because it was been a holdover. Because 88 we were not some. It was when they moved the Junos from this fall of the spring or something. So
Yeah,
they
and
didn't
there's
have one
the timeline shift.
in 88.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was also the year we played with the band.
Oh, yes, yes. That was magical.
Mm.
So that's the only questions that I had. But when you did an interview with the Ottawa Citizen back in, I wrote it down. I think it was 2018. They called you the Kevin Bacon of Canada. 6
Oh,
degrees
because the 6 degrees of
separation.
separation. Oh,
So
I
how
see.
much is this kind of going home for you? Like doing the tours? How much does this feel like the beginning?
Well, no, it doesn't, because
Really?
it's not because starting out as a group is a lot different than starting out as an individual artist, and starting out as a group is hiding yourself in this band of musicians and going around, celebrating things together and suffering the defeats together too. So no, this is very different. This is something I've really sort of embraced, for me anyway, in the last 10 years, is these songwriter circles and playing places where people are appreciating songs. And of course, having played with the two boys for the last, I don't know, 12 or 15 years, we've done a lot of playing and appreciating each other's songs. So it is different. It's not really returning to anything as much as it's actually breaking new ground. There's lots of places I'm going to go where I don't believe I've ever played in Bristol. A lot of places I have played, but probably not the venues we're going to play.
Yeah, the Bristol one here, you're going to be in a church.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's been transformed into an art space. But so are you looking forward to those little places? Are you going to be going and getting ice cream or I don't know what you used to buy at the diner on Danforth, but are you going to be trying poutine in 12 different locations?
I
Yes.
think we'll be trying everything. Anything we hear about that's local fare, we will try. We'll try to find the best diner for the breakfast. We have drives. I mean, this is the one thing that is not hugely exciting for me, is that there's a lot of driving in this tour. So every day there'll be 2 to 6 hours of driving. So yeah, but we'll experience it all. I mean, it's part of the fun.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much. We look forward to seeing you. We've got 2 shows in our region, and we'll make sure to put up all the listing of the shows. But welcome to the Maritimes early, and we'll look forward to seeing all of the lovely reviews of the shows as they come through.
Thank you very
And
much, Teresa.
Good luck.
Thanks, Theresa.
See you.
See you, lads. See you in a minute.